In the northern part of our country where you come from, and Mono, can you beat your chest and say, yeah, this signature project in the north?
I think here the most important project in the north since independence, a Pwalugu Dam project.
Okay.
Is the biggest investment. Say we're drawing books no more since independence.
Okay, how
watch government be by say Palugu Dam. But we're here as a signature project and in Ebeda #1, so there's no doubt about that. Palugu Dam, no, it's
a few moments later.
I have no doubt in my mind that I was championing the Pwalugu Dam. We have not yet been able to do it, but by the grace of God, I believe we are going to do the Pwalugu Dam. It has to be done. It's a major priority because that can bring 23,000 hectares into culture.
So we're here to speak for the people of Pwalugu, but also the entire northern Ghana sector, in which if we had this multi-purpose dam that the Vice President had promised had been built by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government in 2020, would have served that great purpose. I have Fusaini Issa, former Member of Parliament, right here. He'll be helping the current parliamentary candidate of the MPP in the constituency so that they're able to annex a seat. How are you, sir?
Very well. Roland, good to see you. I have not been around for
a while. Were you on the campaign trail?
I was just in this post for a while. Yeah.
All right, and then Ed,
it's good to be back.
Thank you.
On a Monday morning.
We're grateful.
I can see that you're still in the spirit. Nothing has changed. Same. Thank God for
life,
His mercies.
Amen. Mashallah. Alhamdulillah. As my good friend in Charlotte, North Carolina, Carl Dominion will say, Amin. And good morning to you as well, Eduji. I know that you'll be in Kumasi later today, as quickly as possible. So you'll be leaving us early, right? Yeah.
Good morning.
What will you be doing in Kumasi?
I have to go and monitor
the registration. Well, we'll talk about that quickly before you go.
So, good morning to, at least we thank God that He's made him strong and back. And I want to salute all the women of this country whilst doing this short one, that John Dramani Mahama has a special promise for the hardworking market women, hardworking women of this country, with the establishment of the National Women Development Bank, a specialized bank to meet the needs of women. So I am very confident that the week will be good.
All right. It's a birthday of Nana Amwesi. He's an energy expert. And
yes,
Nana Amwesi,
Nana is a very good brother.
The 7th is celebrating 51 years today. Nana, you're Irazin show. And we love the good work you're doing for Mother Ghana.
When he became, I accompanied him to, in fact, when he turned 50, I accompanied him to Ekumfi. So he's a very good brother.
Also, you know,
yes.
But hey, Bibi, Mama Swan too. Okay, anyway, so this is the Pwalugu Dam project description. It's the primary component of the project will be on the screen for you. A dam with an elevation of 165 meters near the Pwalugu Bridge on the Volta River, the White Volta, with a maximum reservoir of some, as we see, on the square. Paha consisting of 2 turbines also ideally would have included a capacity to be able to, or an aspect to generate electricity, irrigation scheme attached to it as well. And this source is from the VRA. And this has been, and the Vice President has said that it's been constructed in 2020. Now he says it hasn't been constructed. So this is the project outline. Now, the project area is located on the White Volta River around Pwalugu. I've been to Pwalugu. I remember within the Kufu administration, under the President's special initiative, we had the resuscitation of the tomato factory there. I went there, did a documentary there back in the day, so I know that place very well. And Fusaini Issa, who has been in this, hasn't joined the campaign of Dr. Mahmoud Bame, would have corrected him on or told him that he promised 2020 this was done and now it hasn't been done. Why is the Vice President inconsistent in this narration, particularly in relation to this? 2020, he said it's been constructed. It's not been constructed.
Roland, let me say a good morning to
morning.
Again, and a good morning to my brother. Even before I come to that, there are two issues that I want to raise. Number one is that I have not been in the north with the vice president, but I've been following his campaign.
Okay.
Yesterday he was in Wa, and then I pray to God that he grants him traveling mercies. Yesterday we had the unfortunate news of the convoy of the president. I mean, these are things that happens to, especially in this political seasons, when we have to traverse the length and breadth of this country. I pray for traveling mercies for him. So far, so very good. His message, his everything is going down, and I hope and pray that this is going to translate into votes come December 7th. The second issue I want to bring up is on the Garrett project. Friday, Parliament sat to approve a loan of $150 million, a second tranche for the Garrett project. This project is aimed at improving the drainage system in Greater Accra, addressing the solid waste management challenges, enhancing certain roads, including the road in front of my house, extending street lights to certain areas. Certain constituencies within the region are benefiting from this project.
The Garrett project.
The Garrett, and two communities.
I've asked you a question. You're talking about the Garrett.
Two communities within Okankwe North are benefiting: Akwetema and Alogboshi.
And Okankwe North.
Yes, still.
Your former place.
It's still my place because that's where I live.
You live.
Yeah, that's where I live. Two communities within the constituency are benefiting. Meanwhile, our member of parliament, the Honorable Teresa Awuni, boycotted the process. So if you live in Alogboshi, if you live in Akwetema, this morning, I'm telling you that your member of parliament, Teresa Awuni, is not interested in your welfare. And so come December 7th, when you get to the ballot box, remember that. Let me come back to the issue of Palugu.
Let me quickly correct this.
Let me come back to.
Let me just.
Oh, jot it down. Jot it down.
Let me quickly.
Roland, are you allowing this? Are you allowing this on the show?
Parliament approved, because you didn't go to the top.
Oh.
Parliament approved an initial amount.
Our member of parliament.
Only 8 million.
Our member of parliament. She told her party line against the welfare of her constituents in Okankwe North last week Friday.
If you leave, has not been spent. So government should spend what is available first.
If you leave.
So as we speak, the money for our logo is there already. So NDC took a principal position that unless or until we finish the money that is available.
Roland,
no, he didn't boycott because the money is already available.
She walked out. She told her party line.
It is the second tranche.
Now who said? Storm drains, no baby slaps after 2017.
The people are very intelligent. The people are very intelligent.
A specific question. Are you ready to answer the question?
Of course, I'll go there. I'll go to Palugu.
Why is the president, the vice president?
It's okay.
Okay, good morning. Palugu, Roland.
Yes, sir.
Nowhere in the two clips that you played did the vice president say
I'll play the
that's the dam. Oh, of course, play it. In the ecosystem clip where he was saying a better number one. That's exact words. A better number one.
Let's play
in the second one, let's say we are going to do the Pwalugu project, inshallah. Those were the two statements he made. Nowhere did he say the project is being completed. You can play it again. I challenge you. Play it again for your viewers.
Play it again. Let's play the clip again.
Please do.
Obi. And then we'll follow up with ours as well.
Yeah, please do.
Part of account where you come from. And Mono, can you beat your chest and say, yeah, this signature project in the north? I
think here the most important project here in the north since independence. A Pwalugu Dam project.
Okay.
Is the biggest investment. Say we're drawing books no more since independence.
Okay. How
I check government be by say Pwalugu Dam. But we're here as a signature project and in Ebeda number one. So There's no doubt about that. Palugu Dam, no, it's...
A few moments later.
I have no doubt in my mind that I was championing.
So it's conclusive. He said, yeah.
He didn't say yeah. He didn't say the dam is complete because I was in Parliament in 2020 when the project came. He came to my committee and we couldn't have started a project of this magnitude and finish it. The completion time was 50 months.
Was it the semantics, the inability to communicate in the language?
You see, really, I mean, a language Akan, he is not a strong speaker of the Akan language. And it's very obvious. The second, what I want to say about this project.
The yeah he meant was yeah.
He went on to say a better number one, which is in future tense.
I'm saying that the response yeah
at the time
you are saying that he meant
at the time he spoke.
Oh please, are you saying that his response yeah means that yeah?
Oh, but he went on to say a better number one.
No,
a better number one.
The better number one is a response
he didn't say a
signature project that has been undertaken by the MPP
at the
government.
At the time in 2020, the project had commenced. And don't let us feel there's this payment of 11 million, which has become topical for a while now. A project of that
magnitude. You call $11 million only.
Oh, but this project it was close to, in total, it was close to $1 billion. In total, if you look at all the components, yes, it was close to $1 billion.
But you call the payment of $11 million only?
No, I'm not saying only. I am not saying only. If I said only, I mean, 11 million is significant. That's what you want to hear. It's significant. The components, I mean, this project was supposed to take 50 months. And look, even if you are building a single structure on a plot of land, you need to do soil testing. How much more a project that is affecting about 8 districts? A project that is affecting 77 communities. A project that is affecting 2,500 households. A project that is affecting a population of about 15,000 people. A lot of things have to be done. Environmental, social impact assessment has to be done. Resettlement action plan has to be done. Those were components. Even access routes to the project site had to be done, where the workers who are going to work had to be done. So these are initial things that you have to do that you would not see physical development of the dam project happening. Remember, this is a multi-purpose. It has a hydro component, has 24,000 hectares of irrigated land. That is what he said was going to be a game changer. Has a solar power component. It wasn't a small project. And so pre-project expenses had to be paid. And there is nowhere, at no time, did the vice president say, yeah, or it has been done.
You said it's in the clip.
It's not. It is not. It is not. Even licensing for this project. VRA.
So what are you attributing to why the vice president used those words? Is it a language?
I'll say, we are going to do the Palugu Dam, inshallah. It's God permitting. God willing.
That's the second one.
God willing.
That's his current campaign promise.
Even the first one, a better number one. A better number one. That's what he said. A better number one. It means a better number one. A better number one means it is completed now and it is the biggest. But a better, it's in the future. So your conclusion of him said the Pwalugu Dam has been completed at any point in time, I think it's misleading, and then we should move away from that. Coming on to the issue of tax exemptions, you want me to take that?
No, are you done with the Pwalugu?
I think that's the issue.
So when will the project will now be done in the next term, when the vice president is elected as president?
Of course, in 2020.
So what happened from 20? Let's say, or let's assume that you're saying that it's a project of the magnitude that we have $993 million. What happened from 2020 when he said yeah?
He did. You'll see a better number one. Ebeda is being on
because
the
we've
books.
been.
Okay, please, sir, Ebeda. Did you see the Ebeda bit?
Please make ready the
Did you see the
video
bit? Or
when
did
we
you hear him?
visited there, please. When we visited.
Yes, when you visit such a
from
project
2020
site.
up to now.
Yes,
what
when you visit such a project site, right? And I'm saying that a lot of things have to happen before the construction of the dam itself. And different entities are doing different bits of it. Whilst the dam is under VRA, the irrigation bit of the dam is also under the Ghana Irrigation Development. I think it is now an authority. And so you expect that different...
Are you proud of your explanation?
Of course I know what I'm saying. And you, it's like...
It's a question. It's a question.
So now, if somebody pretends to be asleep and you try to wake the person, it's next to impossible. Okay. That is why this morning you are refusing to take my explanation. But at no point did Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam project has been completed. At no point did he say that. He said that in the future, Ebeda number 1. Those were the exact words he used.
So what's the meaning of Yaye? The Yaye he used there is what?
Yaye at the time, the project had begun. At that time, the project had begun. In 2020, the project had begun. In fact, like he said, it's been on the drawing board since.
All right. Okay. What do you say to that before we move on to the waivers and all that? Let's quickly kill it before, because you'll be going to Kumasi.
Yes,
you know what? Going to Kumasi mean? What is going to Kumasi mean?
You'll be leaving.
Just a quick one. You see, when people say that you are not truthful.
What do you mean by that?
When people say that you cannot be trusted, when people say that you are not a man of your words, and that when you say go, what you're actually saying is that come.
How?
Then it puts you in a situation where you do not deserve the mandate of the people. Listen carefully. You have a situation where
quiet listening to you.
You have a situation where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo now goes to pick the overlord of Mampusi, the Nairi, one of the respected chiefs in the whole of northern Ghana and Ghana as a whole.
What has that got to do?
Please, you pick him to the sites with fanfare. And tell this man, the overlord, that in the space of so and so months, starting November 2019, we are going to construct a multi-purpose dam.
Over 50 months.
And then everybody there now, that's what?
Over 50 months.
Now claps for you. It's okay.
Oh, please don't. Roland, don't. Don't. Don't go that way.
When the overlord, and all the good people of Mampusi.
No, don't go that way.
All the people,
Roland, don't go that way.
70 communities to be affected. Now come and clap for you. What happens? From November 30th, 2019, in 2020, you go to a radio program in the midst of the election. Then they ask you that after 4 years of leading this country, what can you boast?
The radio program was in 2020.
Election year
was in 2020.
Election year.
And the project was running for 50 months. Over 4 years. The project is supposed to run over 4 years. And the radio program was in 2020. No, a point of correction.
So you go on Ecosi.
Why?
And you are asked.
Why? When you were talking, he never.
Now,
I gave you time to talk.
He never did what?
Ghanaians gave you.
Oh, you allowed him to dance.
Ghanaians gave you.
When I was, you did.
No.
Ghanaians gave you.
Only on the garage.
Hold on. Ghanaians gave you the mandate for 4 years. So after 4 years, what can you boast of having done for the people of the northern region? You could have said, we have initiated the construction of the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam. Agreeable. But Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia now says on Ecosi saying that if my understanding of that account word is anything to go by, it means we have done. And he was boasting at that time of a signature project.
Yeah, for Northern Ghana.
For Northern Ghana.
That's what the interviewee asked.
In fact, he said of the thing that they have done, the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam will rank the first.
For Northern Ghana.
For Northern Ghana. Yeah. He didn't say the Sino Hydro project with the interchange. It was also under construction. But he said, where the we have done it. And the video you played is clear. It admits of no ambiguity. Now, this belated defense that Akan is not the language of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is ridiculous. It's laughable. It's an afterthought.
My language.
And it's, you see, we need to respect the people who are watching us. Look, I have always said this. Nothing stops Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from saying that, listen, we had a vision of building a dam. For A, B, C, maybe Russia-Ukraine war, we could not build a dam. Like they have said for many other things. People are intelligent enough. But what does the man do? He doesn't offer any apology. He doesn't say, I am sorry. He is never responsible for anything.
Why should he?
Because you see, leadership entails that you may not get everything right. So you demonstrate that aside being a leader, you are also human. So when there are issues, possibly beyond your control, what you do is to communicate to the people who are following you. That, listen, I had intended this, but for A, B, C, D reasons, I'm unable to do it. That is what leadership entails. Leadership of responsibility. But you will never find that with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Bawumia, Akufo-Addo are never responsible for anything. Externalities, Russia, Ukraine, COVID-19.
But listen to the explanation that Mr. Husseini is giving. And Mr. Husseini's, please let me ask a question. Mr. Husseini's,
stop it. You are becoming rowdy.
Mr. Husseini's response and explanation to what the Vice President said, even though, of course, I heard Yaya means that we have done, is that the project runs or spans a couple of months, so there was no way at the time.
So you hold on.
But the program was in 2020.
Granted,
you wrote a date on it.
Please, let's take ecosystem.
2020, the project came to Parliament in February 2020.
Why are you doing this?
No, I am explaining.
Why are you doing
because
this?
you are misleading everybody who is watching us. The project came to Parliament in February 2020.
November 2019. Akufo-Addo went there to cut the sword, accompanied by Dr. Bawumia, and they went for the Nairi, the overlord of Mamprusi. Now, let's even take it that it is for 50 months. November 2019 to date, how many months? We are doing more than 40 months. So, a project that is supposed to be completed in 50 months, assuming that's the argument, from November 2019 to date, we are barely left with a year to clock that 50 months. What is the state of the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam? In fact, there is nothing on site.
Yes.
Listen.
When we went, this is a current state.
There is nothing on site.
What date was this?
Meanwhile, you know what is even more dangerous?
We went there 2 weeks ago.
Do you know what is even more dangerous? We have paid the contractor, Power China.
How much?
$12 million for no work done.
No work done, saying.
In fact, when the governor of Bank of Ghana appeared before the Public Accounts Committee, he came accompanied by his workmen. The controller was equally in Parliament. Now, when the controller and the governor came, the question was put to them by the NDC MP for Navrongo. He asked a simple question. On what basis did you pay $12 million to Power China? The governor of Bank of Ghana says, I don't know. Ask the controller. Because the controller was also there. Now the controller, when the question was put to him, also said, unless he goes to check, $12 million of taxpayers' money, 169 million Ghana cedis paid for no work done. And I am saying that it is becoming consistent. If you recall, this government paid in excess of $14 million for Ejapa when nothing had been done. This same administration went into John Mohammed's Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund that he brought and took $2 million and said they were going to build a sky train. Whether the sky train is in Chebi, I don't know. We do not have a sky train. And regrettably, no effort whatsoever had been made to retrieve that, $2 million. We have also paid another $2 million for the Temamoto Way expansion project to the Portuguese company Malta Angels for no work done. At the time when dialysis patients are struggling, at the time when basic items we cannot get. And so when you put all this reckless expenditure, beyond the fact that our vice president had demonstrated that he cannot be trusted. And you see, if listen carefully, I beg you.
Roland,
if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia can do this to the overlord of Mamprusi, right? Can you imagine what else? And look, this interview was before the election.
Yeah, sure.
The host wanted to know what signature projects had been done.
Okay.
Bawumia could have said, listen, when we came to power, we have put in place all this and we are in the process of doing it. You remember what he did to the people of Central Region?
Which is what?
I have good news for you.
Roland.
We are building an airport for you. As I speak today, not even one mortar or concrete. So you see, it is a lying behavior, pathological.
No,
and you see,
Roland, let me tell you who Elia is.
when it becomes clear,
let me tell you who Elia is.
there's a pattern of
This morning I will tell you who
congenital
Elia is.
Please,
we should be worried.
Okay.
He did the same thing to Northeast. He did the same thing to the people of Cape Coast. The people of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. Where is the airport in Cape Coast?
Now,
Roland.
on
Roland,
the fringes
Elia.
of this, because we know that in Parliament, the question was asked, why is it that the Bank of Ghana let go or paid? Based
Now
on
listen to what the governor
what
was
the audited accounts was. We also know what they said. Let's get that insight and then we'll get back to you.
Last question from you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Page 23. Page 23. Somewhere you will see final payment for construction of the Pwalugu irrigation project. Yes. Pwalugu irrigation project, final payment. 2-3. At the top there you see the last but one. Final payment for the construction of the Pwalugu irrigation project. The question is, I thought probably before payments are made, contractors present certificates. Because when you get to Pwalugu, there's nothing there. There's no even a pole. There's no even a signboard. And if the contractor is taking $11 million, there's nothing. There is no even a what do we call it? Like a container. You can't even see the project site. So what certificate was presented before this money was paid? That's my question. Oh. The sun there was at all. There's no even sun on the site. You can't even identify the site.
Let him answer.
So I want to know how that money was paid.
Yes, he will answer.
I think the amount you're referring to was paid in 2021, not 2022. And the auditors would have to tell us because they must have cited their documentations before they wrote this report. The Auditor General, yeah, so maybe they can explain.
Before then, if assuming that it was something like a mobilization, but if you say final, okay.
So at the end of the day, we're paying all these monies, and at the same time, we're in Parliament asking for waivers. And we just approved a loan, 150 million,
Roland,
in addition to all
this morning.
It looks like the question will be that we're not prudent in trying to allocate our resources and then collect the right sort of revenues where we should.
Before I come to that, I want to tell you who a liar is, who a lying politician is. A lying politician is one who will go on the campaign platform and tell Ghanaians that in the political season, politicians tend to tell them what they want to hear, and that reality will hit after the campaign. That is a liar. A liar is one who goes to cut a sword for a project like the Hope City that were promised in Kasua. That never
which Hope City?
came
You're talking about what
RLG went John Dramani Mahama, former president.
It was not a government project.
Oh, but he was there and he promised us.
Okay.
He promised us that it was going to happen, and it didn't happen.
So if let's say
that is a liar.
If let's say
that is a liar.
A waste company goes to cut.
I'm saying the words that came from him. The words that came from him. Yes, but those words they come from him.
And I want us to stay within this lane and ask a specific question.
Yes, do.
That in relation to what the Bank of Ghana and its response has been to the Public Accounts Committee. I'm asking this because when you were in Parliament, you were a very meticulous, fruitful, instrumental member of Parliament who was very much cocksure that there was judicious use of our resources. Then your response is to go into the tangent of politicking, etc. So actually, it's a very straightforward question.
The straightforward answer that I want to give you is that when the Honourable Member of Parliament was saying
and I'm asking in relation also to the waivers in excess of over 200
I'll come to that. When the Honourable Member of Parliament was saying there was no work done, maybe he lost sight of the fact that the size and the magnitude of this project is such that a lot of pre-construction work had to be done. This included licensing from institutions like the VRA, Water Resources, from Energy Commission. It involves the preparation of what we call the environmental social impact assessment. It involved resettlement actions and all of these things. I don't think that you can go to the project site and see physically what is being done when those assessments are being done. So these are pre-construction expenses and activities which will imply that expenses will be incurred before. I'm sure when he was going there, he got access to the site, and that access was created, and expense was incurred for the access to be. When your team went there, I'm sure you had access to a site, and that access route was created, and that was an expense. And we even know about the payment of mobilization. So contractors will need some of this money to be able to finish some of this. So it is not out of place. It is not out of place for a payment to be made when you go to the site and not see anything physical.